Hey! So I wrapped up the install on your KR Sabers Spectre 5 with Astoria's Workshop weathering. This is really beautiful weathering, pretty much very close to the prop. So this is installed with a Goth3D Designs Eco Crystal Chamber chassis, as well as CFX. We've got our screen accurate blade plug over there. Got the toggle switch with the main button. And then your D-ring down here. So to access the internals, just unscrew the pommel. For the pommel, I reclocked the D-ring so it matches the center of the hilt, as well as adjusted the clocking on the emitter. So to access the internals, just unscrew the pommel, and then just slide the chassis out. So here's your Goth3D Designs Eco Crystal Chamber chassis. We've got our 3 switches here. The main switch is in the middle, auxiliary switches are to the side. Auxiliary are actuated with the toggle switch, and the middle button actuates the main switch. Got our 18650 battery here, got our soundboard cover, as well as CFX. For the soundboard cover, one of the components here on the board actually push against the cover. So when I insert it, I like to make sure that this side of the soundboard cover is seated in first before putting in the magnet side. But it does kind of like to jet out quite easily. So back here we have our crystal chamber, as well as our KR Sabers 28mm bass speaker. So let's fire this thing up. So the main switch is the brass switch in the middle, auxiliary are these two. Somebody probably wants to pop that in a little bit. We've got our crystal chamber. So on the CFX, I kind of like toggled around with the color profiles. I set it to green, as well as changed around switched around some of the sound fonts. So we have our green crystal chamber here. Got blaster blocks. Smooth swing. And action swing. So let's put it into the actual hilt. So when inserting the chassis into the hilt, you want to make sure that it's aligned so that the battery as well as this chassis guide lines up with the button. There are also chassis guides here, these 2 brass pins that line up with this channel over here. So all you basically need to do is just line up this channel, the kill switch, battery, and board with the front of the saber. Like so. So just wiggle it in, and then to lock it in place, just tighten in the pommel. Got our illuminated Neopixel connector in there. So there's the toggle switch. So currently we have the screen accurate blade plug in there, but to install the blade you actually want to swap this out with another threaded FX emitter. So let me show you how to do that. So first we need to remove the screen accurate blade plug, which is actually pretty tight in there right now. I actually don't even have the retention screws tightened in. So usually what I like to do is just kind of like dig my fingernail in this groove, which is kind of where the blade plug separates, and then just gently wiggle it out. So I got the blade plug loosened all the way here, and then you just remove it. So there's your illuminated Neopixel connector. There's the Stark Custom Works one. So for the adapter or the holder for the Neopixel connector, I actually had to design a new one because the thin neck PCB wasn't actually sitting flush. So I just quickly redesigned that so that the thin neck PCB sits flush, so it's able to make proper contact with the chassis without the possibility of shorting, because it was kind of seating at an angle. So to install the blade, we need to swap over to the extended FX emitter. So now that we have our extended FX emitter inserted, we can now install our blade. So for the purposes of this demo, I'm going to be using pretty much a full length 7/8 inch blade because I don't have access to a shorter test blade to demo with. So to insert the blade, just insert it into the extended emitter. Make sure it's seated in all the way so you can feel the pins of the Neopixel connector kind of compress. And your blade retention screws are actually the same 4 screws that hold the shrouds in place. So right here there are 2. So just tighten these 2 in. And then on the other side, I like to loosely kind of tighten these in. I actually don't want to fully tighten in all 4 because they could actually counteract against each other because they're pushing against opposite directions. So because I do have a full-length blade, I'm going to be limited in swinging this saber around for the demo. So we have our main button here.
Cell energy critical.
I think that said the battery was low. So we got some blaster blocks. So the toggle switch does have a spring to it. I find that if you push against the clockwise direction, it's able to kind of spring back but not all the way fully. If you do counterclockwise, it needs a little bit of help to kind of get back into position. So you can change colors on the CFX.
Spectrum.
So we can do like a blue.
Blade profile. Cell energy critical.
You can also cycle through sound fonts by holding the auxiliary switch.
Sound bank selection.
Going to sound bank selection.
Youngling.
This is General Kenobi.
Let's go with an Obi-Wan font.
Surely we can be civilized about this. You can't win.
I don't know why it's on red for an Obi-Wan. Let's change that to a blue.
Spectrum.
Missed me. There's never time to limber up.
And then once again, to access the chassis, just remove the pommel. And then once you're done playing with the saber, you can either remove the battery or just toggle the kill switch off. So currently, in the right position, it's on, and you can toggle it off by flipping it to the left. And the board cover is propping up again. So to remove the battery, I find that's a little bit... Actually, no, I can remove it pretty easily this time. So there's the battery removed. We've got our negative side over here, positive over there, as well as your signature is still intact over there. Let's put the battery back in. So there you go. There's your Spectre 5 installed with CFX with the Goth3D Designs Eco chassis with a crystal chamber. So thank you so much for letting me work on this project, and may the force be with you.